The Ukrainians initially welcomed the Germans. Why? Because Stalin and friends had imposed the terrible famine of the early 1930s on them, and they couldn't imagine that anything would be worse than that until they met Nazis, who then had them dig their own mass graves. The Ukrainians rethought that whole thing. And if you do this to people, you will conjure a formidable enemy. So that's what happened to Russia. You can see it happening to Ukraine now before your eyes. Go back before the invasion of Crimea in 2014. You've got Ukraine, which has a very corrupt government. And people were at sixes and sevens about whether they want to do Ukrainian things or Russian things. Okay, fast forward to now, where you have Russians blowing away the people who were most loyal to them in the eastern part of the country who didn't leave. Their apartment buildings are being leveled by Russians. Ukrainians think, aha, this idea that we can coexist with these people is over. And our irony is Putin's forging Ukrainian national identity. And wars often do this. In the United States, we start out with our 13 colonies, and they're all very different. After the Revolutionary War, that starts forging a national identity. And by the time you get to the end of the Civil War, where you have northern armies, at least those people have been all over the country, they have a real sense of nation by the end of that one. Well, if you're a Russian of any persuasion, I suspect you'd be really angry that some American from across the seas is going to determine what kind of government you live under. That's a problem there. And then you asked me earlier about overextension. So we're going to go around the entire world and telling others how to live. And then there's another issue, which is people like Stalin are a reflection of the country of the time. The notion that one guy, Stalin, waves a magic wand and everyone does what he wants, and this notion that Stalin personally is responsible for these millions of deaths. There were millions of people pulling millions of triggers for all these deaths. There are a lot of people who think it's a good idea. So they are a reflection of a place. Now, in order to understand this, we personify it with Stalin. It's your earlier issue about generals. We personify how wars turn out often by generals because that gives us a grasp on it. But it's a much more complicated thing.